What's up, nerds? Welcome to Nintendo Power Block for August 15th, 2017. I'm one of your hosts, Corey Dierg, and alongside me, as always, that retro code, Edward Varnell.
I love to hop, skip, and jump for Nintendo Power Block. Yes, I'm pumped.
Ed, your intros every week just make me laugh because I never know what's coming.
I'm positive. I love doing Power Block.
I know, I love Power Block too. Joining us again for the second episode in a row, El Capitan himself from Nerd Overdrive, Ray Osorio.
What's up, guys? Rise above.
Ray, I'm so glad you're back.
Yeah, you guys brought me back after that crazy episode last week. I was just like, okay,
Ray,
I'm back again.
Ray, you know you can just show up on any show, and we're just going to be like, all right, Ray's here. Let's go. Let's do it. Oh, man. How's everyone doing?
Don't forget, last episode we had a smorgasbord of everything besides Nintendo.
Oh, we talked about I just watched that back on YouTube. I was just like, yeah, where was the Nintendo talking?
Hey, I have more non-Nintendo talk today, so I mean.
So as do I, because things and stuff.
Oh man, I'm so excited to talk about the games I've been playing though.
Oh yes.
So, but we're gonna Ed, we're gonna start with you. We're gonna start with you, Ed, because you're probably the only one that's been playing Nintendo games.
Dragon Quest VIII. I played.
PS2 game, nice.
I beat it for PS2. I actually am at the halfway point. Got to Domegas, which is the villain that the heroes are chasing at this time. Got my tail kicked, and I'm like, yep, I need to go back and grind and get the new weapons and armor. So I'm playing that. Was about to hook up my Wii U up so I could start doing my Wii U games like Paper Mario Color Splash. I'm literally now determined to put Mass Effect Andromeda to the side because I've been playing that. I spent the whole day doing side quests for that game. I'm ready to put that game to the side and focus way on my Wii U games. I want to get through my collection because I just got a big backlog and pretty much don't have nothing to really play on Sony besides Uncharted 4 at this time. I do want to beat that before The Lost Legacy comes out later on this month. But I'm getting ready to turn back on my Wii U. And if things work out, everybody, I might have my Nintendo Switch by this Friday. So
yes,
I'll be ready to start on games for that system. Awesome. But yeah, just right now, Nintendo Vice is just Dragon Quest VIII. And then kind of this week, I'm be on my Wii U doing a lot of gaming on there. Because I was just craving Tokyo Mirage Session. But Andromeda just took up my time. And Gears of War 4 playing in Ikaruga.
Still got to play that Gears of War 4 together. Just saying.
I know.
Yes.
We need to live stream some Horde mode or something at some point.
That'd be fun.
Pod play.
Yeah.
There we go.
Man, Ray, I'm really sorry that I went to bed last night because I was so tired. I wanted to play a game so bad, but I was like, I'm going to fall asleep. Ray and I were supposed to play Overwatch last night, and I heard you played with Brian a little bit.
Yeah, we played with Brian a little bit because he ends up jumping on toward the end of our night. Like, we were already playing for like an hour or whatever, or two, usually. So he usually jumps on like 11, and then we're like, we've been playing this for like 2.5 hours. We're kind of done.
Yeah.
So I feel kind of bad, but we were wrecking face. His Widowmaker is actually really good. He's a good Widowmaker.
He's been playing Widowmaker for like 3 weeks straight. He refuses to change characters. Not like every like month or so, he'll go in and change try a character that he doesn't play as and try to get really good with that character. And yeah, we played some Overwatch on Wednesday together, and I was playing Lucio, and he was playing Widowmaker, and like we were like, I was staying back and healing like the team, and like we had some people that didn't really know what they were doing. There's seems to be more of that in quick play than ranked, but like he was hanging back as Widowmaker, and like I was up healing people, and like he would get some body shots on people, and I would finish them off with Lucio, and like I was getting like silvers and eliminations with Lucio.
Lucio can do some damage though. Like, seriously, he can do some damage.
I had this really good shot though of like I forget what the map's called, but it was like the Greek Isle where like
Is it the well in the middle?
No, it's not the well. It's the other one with the point in the middle. but like there's 3 doors. There's one, and they all go out to stairs that go underneath the point, but you can also get pushed off. Dude, some tracer was running around the door and came in and started shooting me, and I was shooting her, and she went back through the other door, like blinked through the other
lighthouse
door.
One. The lighthouse one?
Yeah.
That's on the edge?
Yeah. And she came through the door. She blinked through the other door, and I shot her off the edge. It was really cool. Made me feel really good.
Nice.
And I did the same. I did the same thing to a Roadhog that came through the door, and I always let Roadhog hook me when I'm Lucio, because since they kind of nerfed him, like I can get the shot off before
you can get the boop off.
Yeah, before he shoots a shotgun, and it feels really good to knock Roadhog off the ledge, because you just like, I know what you're trying to do. So, Overwatch is good. It's good.
Yeah. I started playing D.Va in Overwatch because Panda, she's like, I'm a good D.Va. So I'm like, I'm all right, D.Va. So now I've been trying to play better so I can show her that I can be a good D.Va or whatever. So I've been actually keeping all my highlights and stuff from that and screenshots. With that, I actually have something Nintendo related that I played this week.
Whoa, what?
I busted it. Well, I beat Fire Emblem already. We talked about this last week.
Yes.
I actually took my Super Nintendo out of the box.
Yes.
Right out of the closet. And then we went on a little bit of a rare game fest. We played Donkey Kong Country 2, Donkey Kong Country 3, and Killer Instinct.
Yes.
Like, Ultra Combo! Dude,
yes.
I missed that game. That game was so fun. Killer Instinct. Well, that was when I was really, like, Super Nintendo was, like, when I was in the thick of the fighting game scene. Because I was, like, I wanted to become a pro Street Fighter 2 fighter. Like, I wanted to be a pro Street Fighter 2 player. And I was semi-pro, and I was doing, like, regional stuff around Chicago when I lived back home. And, Corey's heard this story before. I'd go to the arcade, and I'd talk my dad into letting me stay there for a couple hours, and I put my quarters down in the machine. I'd get my turn, and I'd proceed to wreck everyone that wants to keep coming up. I'm taking all fighters as they're coming up. They're putting their quarters on the machines, and I'm just wrecking people for 2-3 hours at a time. Then my dad's like, "We gotta go." I'm like, "But I haven't lost yet, Dad. Let me play. He's like, "No, we gotta go." I'm like, "Oh."
No.
Was it World Warriors or Championship?
It was the World Warrior, just regular Street Fighter 2. It was on the arcades, and that's why I like the arcade stick, because that's why I used to get. And then at home I'd play on the pad and I'd be all right, but I would just feel at home like on the stick.
It's so funny when it comes to the Street Fighter 2 in the arcade. Only seen the Champion Edition. The World Warriors one is only on Super Nintendo that I've ever played. I've never seen it as an arcade game. I've
seen it as the arcade, and then we got the Championship Edition, and then we got the Super Street Fighter. Then, after a while, the different arcades I would go to, each one had a different version, because they had like the new version with the new characters and stuff in it.
Yeah,
like Fei Long,
the Super Street Fighter.
Yeah. Super
that one we had. We had the hack version before they did the turbo one. Somehow, someone was able to put the hack version of Street Fighter into our mall arcade, Aladdin's Castle. Love that.
Yeah, that was the same thing. Yeah, Aladdin's Castle was you go to the mall and then you go to the arcade. It's Aladdin's Castle.
Yeah.
The octagon token with the little lamp in the middle.
Yeah.
Dude. We had the arcade, and then we had this Gyro or Gyro, whatever y'all want to say. I say Gyro. That's
Gyro. It's gyros.
The gyros.
It's gyros.
we had a gyro restaurant right next to our arcade. Had the best gyros and cheeseburgers, and because they weren't like Coke, they did Pepsi, and it just was so right. Best fries and everything. And we used to be able to get all of that for like $4.75.
Yep. Greek restaurants are the best. That's one thing I miss about living back home, like in the Midwest, is like you had those really good like mom and pop restaurants that you could just go to. Like we have good ones here in New York, but usually they're pizza restaurants. Or like they're Italian, and it's like no. Sometimes I just want a gyro and some fries or something like that. Like I want something good. There's a guy that I work with when I do live events and stuff like that. Like when we do the Madden tailgate here, he has a gyro cart. Like he owns a Mediterranean restaurant and a Greek restaurant in Utica, but he has a cart and he'll bring it wherever you want him to go. So every time we have the Madden tailgate thing, he's there with the gyro cart, and he'll come sell gyros and stuff like that, hot dogs, hamburgers, all that kind of stuff. Oh man, it's good. I have, dude, I eat so much when he's around. He's like, another one. I was like, yes, another one. Like, I won't eat for 2 days after that because I'm so full and whatever. But yeah, I get my fill when I'm hungry.
See, for me, I have to see the rotating meat. And then I have to see them cut it off. Be like, yes, give me that good old meat.
You tired, Corey?
Yeah, man, it's been a long weekend. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but then I played Overwatch yesterday, wrecking fools and Lucio Ball with muffins.
Nice.
Like, yeah, because the other night we hopped on after everything, and I was just like, hey, say what's up to Corey because I'm going to be a minute, whatever. And then you logged off, and I'm like, what happened to Corey? Like, he had to go. I'm like, well, that sucks, Corey.
It was getting really loud in there. I was trying to find something on Horizon.
Yeah.
So
well, see, that's one thing that people get upset about. Like, when I come into a party because I have so many friends, I just leave it open. I'm just like, whatever. If you guys want to come talk, hang out, as long as we're not bothering you, you're not bothering us, you're more than welcome to come hang out and, just chill and talk video games or whatever.
Yeah.
It's been like that since Destiny, back when we started the community stuff for Phoenix Overdrive.
So don't bring up Destiny. I'm really scared about how my life's going to end when that game comes out.
50 hours of content. They said 50 hours of single player content.
50
or story content. I should 50 hours plus of story content. Well, mind you, how long was the original Destiny? Like 5 hours, 6 hours to play through the first story? Maybe not even.
No. Another Destiny?
No.
Well,
I don't know. I'd say like if you include all the strikes and the raids, and like I'd probably.
Well, remember we didn't get the raid right away. We didn't get Vault of Glass right away when Destiny came out originally. We got it a few weeks after. So to play from, the first story mission to the end of the story mission, it was probably like 5-6 hours maybe. And then you played the strikes and stuff like that.
Oh, the campaign for Vanilla Destiny was like 6 hours maybe.
Yeah.
And like if you put House of Wolves and Dark Below in on it, like it was probably only not even
still 10, less than like
it wasn't even 10 hours.
Even when you're underpowered, like just going through it.
Mm-hmm. Because you got to remember, when you first play through it regularly, it scales to your level. So like you're at level, and then
see, that was a problem with Destiny, because I should have been at certain levels. Like I would go to
because
they
want you to go out and try different things to level up. They want you to grind.
So did they change it when by the time I got it?
No, they changed it. They changed it. Well, what they did was like they changed it for the Taken King too. Like everything before the Taken King stayed the same, and then with the Taken King they did a better job of making sure you were at the correct level, but it still was like sometimes it was off. It was I mean, I just remember a lot of people, including me, like just stashed our bounties and traded them all in to be level 40 when the Taken King came out. Because that was like a big thing. Everyone's like, save your bounties, because their leveling's changing.
Yeah, because then they gave us the XP boost too. Remember?
Yeah.
For if you pre-ordered,
it was weird because I think I did like the 4th or 5th mission, and I kind of was like at level 7. But the next mission was like you had to be at level 9 for the story, and I'm like, wait, what the heck? I'm like,
but you have to remember in Destiny. Yeah, you have to remember in Destiny though, you alternated between the sections, the first couple sections, like you were on Earth.
Yeah, and then you went to
then you went to the moon.
Yeah, you went to the moon, then you went to Venus, then you went back to the moon, then you went to Mars.
But some of the levels didn't when you're on that planet. Like if I'm on the moon, because I think the moon's like the first part you go to after Earth or something, or is it Earth?
It's like 2 or 3 missions on Earth, then there's the strike, and then you go to the moon.
See, that's the thing about it. I think because I didn't do no strike, I was going through the story. They jump
because there's one of the story missions requires you to team up and do a strike.
See,
and that will level you up
to take down the spider tank.
Yeah.
Yep.
See, and guess what? They didn't.
That spider tank.
They didn't tell me that. Like they didn't offer that.
I know they don't. It's not very good at communicating what you're really supposed to do.
What you're supposed to be doing, yeah.
Remember, so maybe that's probably why I got confused. That's why I seen that jump for it.
Yeah, between the alpha and the beta, I killed that spider tank so many times.
I know, dude. I probably killed that spider tank probably 100 times. And like, so I know, gosh, I know this is a Nintendo podcast. I'm sorry, guys. But like, there's not really a lot of news anyway. Like, but like, okay. So I posted on Facebook the other day that I finally deleted Destiny 1 to make space for Hellblade, which is really good, by the way. Hellblade is amazing. Oh my gosh, Hellblade's amazing. And Pyre and Sundered and a couple other games. Oh, God of War 3 remastered, because that game is freaking amazing. Gosh, God of War's so good. I miss God of War really a lot. I'm sorry. But yeah, and I posted, I was like, I need 6 trophies for the Platinum, and one of them is Flawless Raider. And I'm sad to delete Destiny without getting the Platinum, but I'm excited for Destiny 2. And like, all these people out of the woodwork were like, I'm still playing. You could have asked me. I'm like, I didn't know everybody was still playing.
I know Frank Clark, people still playing.
Frank Clark was like, why didn't you ask me to play with you, bro? And I was like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm still doing 1. I think 1 plays better than 4 to me, control wise. So I'm sticking to 1.
What? 1 what?
For Destiny.
Wait. What?
Xbox One.
Oh, Xbox One. I was like, what are you talking about? 1 against 4.
See, this comes from me that I have preferred controller for me is the DualShock, just because I have carpal tunnel in my hands, and some days my hands are just terrible and they hurt and they ache and sharp stabbing pains. The DualShock 4 tends to make my hands feel more comfortable and I don't have as much pain. I mean, there are sometimes where after I get done playing, I'm just like, man, God, my hands hurt. Like
sometimes,
but the Xbox controller makes my hand hurt so bad. Like right off, I could only play like half hour to an hour at a time before I'm like, yeah, I can't play anymore.
Yeah, probably because I got used to the Xbox One controller. I think when I was doing the Destiny 2 beta with the PS4 controller, my wrist started hurting. I'm just like, yeah, this.
That's because you hold them differently. But my thing is like, even playing, I played 360 most of the time over PS3 and stuff like that. But now it's just like my hands are. I mean, I had the Xbox Elite controller, which was actually very comfortable, but still, the DualShock 4 is still at home for me. I don't know why it is that way, but I do like a friend of mine. I got to play their Switch. I like that Pro controller though.
Yeah,
that Pro controller.
Yeah.
The thing though is like when I play Switch in handheld mode, like I'm starting to get pains like right here in my thumb, like all the way down into my wrist, and because my thumbs, I have to spread my thumbs far out, like in an unnatural position because the sticks are lined up above the buttons instead of staggered a little bit, and like my hands, my wife's home. Hi, wife. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Corey's wife. Hi, Sana.
Hi, Mrs. Derrick.
Ed said, hi, Mrs. Derrick. Yeah.
Well, she's married, so you gotta announce it properly, Mrs. Derrick.
Are you still jelly about Sana's YouTube following?
Yeah, I am. Her YouTube page is getting more subscribers than us, and it's making me upset. It's because she's a woman. People enjoy watching.
No, she's ready. She's ready to help everybody in the caregiving space.
Yeah, it's because more people care about.
Stink guy in the hallway.
It's because more people care about caregiving and stuff like that than video games, So
I know. Plus, they have like a following anyway, like their caregiving stuff. But like, what were we talking about?
Nintendo Switch.
Handheld mode, Switch mode.
Yeah, but like that Pro controller is real nice, and like you can use it on your PC. So whenever I get a graphics card, maybe I'll use that. Still don't have a graphics card.
Yeah, I played the Switch in handheld mode. My brother let me check it out. It's not comfortable for me.
No, I wish they.
It's like.
I hope they make different Joy-Cons. Like honestly, I hope they make. Like after like a year or something, if like Virtual Console takes off, or they have like a decent number of Joy-Cons that like will adhere to different people's hand sizes, because like
did you see? Yeah, Corey needs the Joy-Con XL version.
Yeah.
And you know what? It would sell. It literally will sell.
Yeah.
Except for the people that complain they have like tiny baby hands. They're like, the controllers are too big. I'm like, How?
How are they too big? Like that, the size of the unit is fine. It's just the sticks. I wish were like, I don't know.
Maybe a little taller. I think that would help too if they were a little.
Not even that.
I wish
they were moved in. Like
tucked in some, and maybe a little taller.
Yeah.
Because look, I use stick things for my PS4 to help with my carpal tunnel. So one is actually really short, and then the other one's really tall. So the taller stick actually makes my right hand. It doesn't make my right hand hurt as bad.
Video game.
And this is Video Game Ergonomics, brought to you by Nintendo Power.
Was that the Call of Duty
no
controller?
No, it's the Uncharted one. The Uncharted blue one. I have that same controller.
You want to know why? For the way that it looks, the color has the Call of Duty 3 colors. Yeah, with the orange.
What did you think?
Yeah.
I have a set of white sticks too that are like that, different texture. But yeah, no, but I got to play some Super Smash Brothers because now I'm like that competitive edge in me because like I told you guys last week, Panda like kicked my butt at Smash Brothers. So now the competitive edge in me is like, no, I need to get better. I need to train because I want to fight back. I don't want to get trounced again next time we play. Because I was like, I told her, I was like, hey, I mentioned you on the episode. She goes, you did? I was like, yeah, how you kicked my butt at Smash Brothers. She goes, where? And it was like first 5 minutes of the show. I was like, it's like first 5 minutes of the show. Just go there and listen. I actually watched the whole thing. But yeah, no, it was one of those things where it didn't feel good to lose. Like when you're a competitive fighter player like that, I never really saw Smash as a competitive fighter. But now that people are surrounding it and it's getting stuff like at Evo and stuff like that, I was like, well, Smash is a competitive fighter.
It's weird when you make a Nintendo game something that it's not supposed to be.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a fun like party game where you just bring all the Nintendo characters together and you just beat the crap out of each other.
Right. Like, and that's even with Splatoon. It's just like the game is about painting, but people still play it kind of almost, I want to say like Overwatch, like an arena-based shooter. Like people keep playing it like that. I'm like, no, you gotta cover ground. It's not about.
It's not
always
about
going against the player.
Knocking the player out. You gotta make sure you cover more ground strategically. That's the one thing, Corey. I don't know if you saw me tag you in Phoenix Overdrive Nation today, because Trevor was like, I don't know what to do in Splatoon. I'm like, talk to Corey because I have no idea what you mean. Like I played
you paint the floor. That's all you do.
Like I mean, that's what I did with my girls. But you know what I mean. Like I never really had a great experience with Splatoon like that because I only played online like once or twice. Like it was never anything. But usually I'm playing with my girls, so I just kind of hold back and not beat them, so that way they can be like, yeah, I beat Dad in a video game.
Yeah, well, it's weird. Like people were playing Breath of the Wild. I think now with this hard mode, people are playing it like Dark Souls and Bloodborne, and it's kind of weird to see that. I guess speed running is another way. If you see it like that, like a game like Mario Brothers is not supposed to be done in a speedway kind of sense. Like that takes like good skill and dedication. If you don't use no kind of cheat equipment or software, I'm assuming.
Yeah, to be fair, though, the original Legend of Zelda and Zelda 2 were among the hardest games I've probably ever played because they are just they're not user-friendly at all. Mm-hmm. Have you played the original? Have you gone back and tried to play the original Legend of Zelda recently?
Yeah, I beat it. I beat it but
it's not easy. It's not easy.
It actually was easy.
Well, it was okay. Well, then maybe Ed's better at video games than I am because I went back and played the original Zelda and I was just like, yeah, how did I beat this the first time as like a 9-year-old kid? I don't know how the heck I did it.
No, anything from the NES era except for like Super Mario Brothers 3 or 2 or like unplayable for me. It's just like everything's super hard.
What was the other? It wasn't Ninja Gaiden, was it?
Yeah, that was Ninja Gaiden and Ninja Gaiden 2.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Wasn't there another Ninja game?
Shinobi?
Yeah, Shinobi. That's the one I'm thinking. Shinobi's bad. Oh man, I tried to go back and play that not too long ago.
Okay, so this is a story about Shinobi. I beat it on NES before I beat it on the Sega Master System. Because there's a section where you got four like 4 goblin looking things, and they're coming to you, and it's like electric kind of side thing.
I know the part you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you have to defeat all of them, and then you have to fight like some eye thing with like your stars and stuff.
The Gorgon thing, yeah.
Yeah. So I beat because it was Tengen when it came out for Nintendo. That was I think Atari, or was it Namco? It was one of them that they kind of code. It was able to break the code on the NES and able to put the carts out for it. That's how Tetris became like a very expensive cart. I think it's Atari.
Sega was the developer for Shinobi.
No, but who did Tengen for NES? TENGN. I think that was Namco. If it wasn't Namco, it had to be Atari.
Yeah, back when the publishing houses had their second companies and stuff like that in order to it was Atari.
Okay, so they did the coding for Ninja Gaiden for for the NES. But I ended up beating it for Nintendo first before I beat it for the Sega Master System, Shinobi. And that's the only Shinobi game that I played because the arcade one was too hard for me, of course. And I didn't play Shinobi 2 and I didn't play Shinobi 3 on the Sega Genesis. Yeah, but like Ninja Gaiden, I beat that actually on the Super Nintendo with the Game Genie.
Oh, you cheat.
I cheated
so hard.
Because I got to I got far in that game. I always get to almost the last level. Like I only have like one more level to do before I get to the final boss, and I will always die. And I was just like, Infinite continues, like, and I will practice my tail off and just wouldn't be able to do it.
Yeah, you guys know the history about all that, the secondary publishing companies for Nintendo, because cartridges were so expensive and they would only get so much allotted, they would go create like ghost companies.
That's why Konami created Ultra so they could put more games out.
Yep.
I think it's Tengen. It's somebody who went in
Nintendo. Or it was
who snuck into Nintendo, found out how they make their games, so they coding and stuff and everything, and then left. Like they were saying he was a lawyer or something, and was able to find like their sheets, and then left and started making their own games. Like we finding a way around, cause the Christian games, like Noah's Ark, like how bad those games were. Like you couldn't find them at stores. You only could find them at like Christian bookstores.
No, by video store. You can find them at the video stores too, because they would buy a copy. Yeah. We had what the heck was it? It wasn't Box Office Video. You remember Box Office Video?
See, we didn't have Box Office. We only had Blockbuster and Video Express.
Yeah, we had the Video Express too, but yeah, we had Box Office Video, and then you remember Hollywood Video too was a thing for a while. Yes. And then they died. Corey's like, I don't know what you guys are talking about. He's just kind of got a look on his face like...
No, I remember. We had Blockbuster and Hollywood Video.
Yeah.
I just always bought... Well, my parents always just bought me my games. I never really went and rented anything.
Our tradition was we would rent a game. Like every 2 weeks on Friday, we'd have pizza for dinner, we'd get a movie, and we'd get a game. And then my parents would get a movie that they wanted to watch. And then most of the time, my dad would end up getting like some kind of martial arts movie for the movie him and my mom would watch. We would get a family movie, and then we would get a video game. And usually, depending on what we were playing, whatever. And then there was one point in time when Chrono Trigger came out.
Yes.
We rented that game literally like 6 months in a row. Like every 2 weeks, we would re-up our renewal for it to play through it because we didn't buy it.
We did that. Me and my brother did that for NBA Jam because we were staying for our grandma, and we called Blockbuster. And we told our mom like we have to go, we have to get it because it had just dropped that Friday, and everybody was looking for it. And our Blockbuster had one more copy, and we was able to get it, and we spent our whole weekend at our grandma's house playing NBA Jam on Super
downtown. He's on fire.
Yeah, me and my best friend. me and my best friend. That's how we was so good at Zombie Ate My Neighbors because we rented the game and we played.
I love that game.
Yeah, and then we both ended up buying that game for
Corey, did you play that game?
Christmas.
What, Zombies Ate My Neighbors? Yeah.
I played it on Super Nintendo, then I played it on Sega. I'm like, this is terrible on Sega.
Well, that's the Genesis version sucks. Like, it's.
I was just like,
I remember like
this garbage.
I remember I wanted NBA Jam really bad, and like my parents bought me this Sega Genesis game called Barkley Shut Up and Jam. I was like, this isn't NBA Jam. And like, no, dude, Shaq Fu's amazing. I can't wait to get my free copy on Switch.
Right. Why did you bring that up?
Shaq Fu's the best. Shaq Fu's the best. Shaq Fu is the best.
Please check out past episodes.
We could just call this nostalgia factor.
But like, my parents bought me Barkley Shut Up and Jam, and like, I just remember picking the people with like, I don't know, the best stats, because like I didn't know who any of these people were, and it turns out they were all like fake players except for Charles Barkley. And like I didn't even pick Charles Barkley because he wasn't really good at anything. He is just good at knocking people over. And like I always picked this guy named Sweet Pea because he was sweet at shooting threes. And there's somebody
shoot. Why? At least you had that. I had Pat Riley basketball.
I had Pat Riley basketball too.
No, Bill Lambier's combat basketball.
Oh goodness! That game was utter
the power-ups on the field, like you could shoot like a freaking 8-pointer from the other side of the field with the power-up. Yeah, no. Missiles and stuff blow the players up.
My parents always bought me the generic sports versions of sports games. Like I wanted Madden, and my parents had got me Joe Montana football. And like all you had to do was do the spin move, and you scored a touchdown every time. You're like, oh well.
No, that's like Tecmo Bowl. You always play as freaking Bojack.
Yeah, it was the same thing. It was the same thing.
I beat my brother in Joe Montana once, and he always wanted his rematch, and I would never give it to him. I ended up did give it, but I got my tail beaten. Actually, Capcom had a football game for Super Nintendo. I was just like, when did y'all start making sports games? See,
Cal Ripken, dude, there were all kind of rip-off games. Like there was Cal Ripken's Triple Play Baseball, or no, Roger Clemens had a game. Cal Ripken had a game.
Konami had Run and Gun and In the Zone for PlayStation when it first came out.
You guys remember the Mutant League games?
Yes. Yeah.
We're not talking anything new. We're just talking about old Nintendo and old retro games now.
I mean, but you know, like, because we're talking about renting games, like those was our demos at the time, and you had a limited time. Like if you could beat a game like Ren and Stimpy within, you know, that day, then yeah, I'm like, but if that game was so good, whether you finish it or not, it was going to be a birthday gift or maybe a Christmas gift. Like you was going to have that one in your collection. Yep. And it felt like with a lot of first party Nintendo games, I've never rented a first party Nintendo game.
I've rented them, but it was always hard because those are the most sought after games because they were always usually the better games other than the bootleg stuff that we've been talking about, like, you know, your Run and Gun and your Joe Montana, stuff like that. Yeah, no, we used to get the good first party games or the really good like third party games. And like I remember playing Metal Gear, and I was just like, "What the hell is this game?" Like,
yes.
I was just like, "This is weird." And then I played all the rest of them, and I was just like, "Okay, still makes no sense whatsoever."
That was kind of how Bionic Commando was for me. Like I actually beat Bionic Commando in one sitting, that and Rygar, and because I didn't have no instruction booklet, you know.
ActRaiser was that for me. I was killing ActRaiser.
Oh, ActRaiser's the bomb, big. I love that soundtrack. Like, so.
Corey's good. Like, Corey's just kind of like, okay, Ray and Ed took over the show.
No, I'm just listening.
Do you remember when we got all the bad mascot games?
Arrow the Acrobat was the best.
Arrow the Acrobat. You
got a sequel.
Gex. Yeah, no, it did. Yeah, dude, that was actually one of the first games that I remember renting on Super Nintendo was Arrow the Acrobat.
My favorite non-Mario or Sonic like mascot game was Rocket Knight Adventure for Sega
Yes!
Genesis.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, that was amazing.
Oh my gosh! And I was like, I've never seen or heard from this game again. And then like 3 or 4 years ago, they released a remake on Xbox Live Arcade.
They did a sequel.
Did they?
Yeah, it's called Sparkster.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, we'll see. Rocket Knight is what I want. I don't care about these fake names.
Well, Sparkster was his name. So when Rocket Knight Adventure came out, they changed it to Sparkster because they ended up putting it on Super Nintendo also.
Yeah, but we got all kinds of fun stuff. Remember Yo Noid and Cool Spot?
I could not stand Your Noid. I somehow ended up watching a cartoon. I mean, watching that TV and ended up having to throw up. And was like, I can't.
I remember when I first played Kirby, I was just like, "What the heck is this?" And
I didn't play Kirby until
I fell in love.
Nintendo.
I fell in love with Kirby though. Kirby grew on me, and then we got what the heck was it?
See, I watched Kirby.
Yeah, Kirby. Mega Man games were also a favorite of mine. I love the Mega Man games. Like
I got the Legacy Collection for PS4. I need to beat 4 through 6. Well, actually 4 to 7. Only ones that I beat it was 1, 2, 3, and 8. I never beat 9 to 10, which I gotta go buy. I gotta go buy a Legacy Collection too. Need to buy that.
Yeah, and then
I don't think I've ever beaten a Mega Man game. I just like to play them.
Yeah, the beat 'em up games like your Double Dragon, your Streets of Rage,
Turtles in Time.
Yeah, Corey and his Turtles in Time always.
I'm sorry.
Best game ever made.
It's a great beat 'em ups. I put Streets of Rage 2 over Turtles in Time. Like trust me, I love throwing those Foot Clan into like the screen.
Turtles in Time was the game, bro. I'm sorry, but Turtles in Time was
the Super Nintendo version, not the stupid arcade version.
Yeah, not the arcade version.
Yeah. Streets of Rage 2 because of that. Also, that soundtrack is still amazing, and I guess it was just a game that I just was able to replay over and over, just almost like Turtles in Time. But I think I played more Streets of Rage 2 than I played Turtles of Time, and I wish TMNT would come back. I wish they would release that.
Battletoads.
Battletoads sucked.
Oh, Battletoads was hard.
That's why it sucked.
Oh, Ed actually thinks video game is hard? No, that game was like increasingly difficult. Then you had I mean, so many good RPGs though back in that time on the NES and the SNES time frame.
See, the NES RPGs I didn't really play. It was always platformers or beat 'em ups for it, or even shooters like Contra and stuff, or even like R-Type or
Dude, your Dragon Warrior games and then the original Final Fantasy and stuff.
I didn't play Dragon Warrior 2. I think 1 and 2 came out for Game Boy. Like even Final Fantasy. My first Final Fantasy was Final Fantasy 3.
Your Ultimas. Your Ultimas and Fazanadu. Come on, man, you're killing me, Ed.
Well, I was because in my household, I was Nintendo, my brother was Sega, and anything that I jumped out of from Nintendo was a TurboGrafx 16.
Bonk.
and that literally was the reason. Was Bunk. And then getting Dungeon Explorer, Vigilante, which was the arcade game that came to the TurboGrafx 16, Splatterhouse, like the TurboGrafx 16 was like what people see the Switch is to like their PlayStation. It was like a complementary system. And so I'm like, hey, if I can get these good games for like $20, heck yeah, on the Hue card.
Oh man. Wow. Okay. Well, now that we're 40 minutes into the show.
Nostalgia Minute brought to you by Nintendo Pow Block.
Ed, do we have any news this week, really?
I
want to be clear. We're recording a day earlier than we usually record. So if anything happens between Sunday and Tuesday. We'll cover it on Friday, right? That's how that works, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Podcasts.
Woo. The only news that I kind of have out right now, Ryan, producer, explains why the Switch port is coming so much later. They just talking about some of the decisions that they made that they thought were going to be right and wrong until they ended up working on it. And they didn't actually begin work on the Switch SKU until August of 2016. So kind of when they were working on Xbox and the PC version and PlayStation, when it came to August, that's when they started working on the Switch version. The people who are making it with Tequila Works is Tantalus. They're working together and optimizing it and everything, but they are going to add an achievement system so that it almost feels like you're playing the Xbox One and PlayStation ports. So they want to be fair across all systems about it. How it's going to work, they haven't explained just yet. But like I said, this game will be out in November. But if you guys don't want to wait for the Switch version, you can get it out for PS4, Xbox One, and PC. I really am going to double dip on this game because that soundtrack is amazing, and I do want to have a discussion on Rhyme because I think it's I think it's a game that needs to be discussed. That kind of almost follows in the line of like Hellblade, and like kind of having that discussion with it. It's been a fantastical year of music and independent games, and I can't wait to hear the music in Hellblade. But yeah, for Rhyme, November, you guys can read most of that on Nintendo Life, and they got a fuller story about more on their official site about the game, so you guys can check that out. But that's pretty much all the news. There is a little other thing that kind of happened over the weekend, but we're not going to touch on that. So
which little thing? Because the thing I'm thinking about,
the Switch Nintendo getting sued for the detachable.
Yeah,
controllers.
that I was gonna actually bring that up because I've seen it on Mashable, The Verge, and Gizmondo. I want to say it's all over those things right now, so that's why I was going to bring up like, hey,
yeah, but
what's up with this?
That company, like, I didn't really want to talk about this, but I guess we're going to.
But we don't have to.
Well, like, the thing is like, their controllers are set up more like it's like a cradle for a tablet, whereas like
the Switch is two separate controllers. The Joy-Cons are separate.
Yeah, and like I was just looking at this and like, yeah, they make detachable controllers for like iPads and stuff, but they're like, I don't know. They're more a cradle, and the controller is attached by this thing either underneath and the tablet slides in, or like there's this little like hook in the back,
right.
And it just clamps it together.
And it doesn't work unless you actually attach it to a mobile tablet. Whereas the Switch controllers is always connected to the system. You could take it off and still play it Bluetooth wise. Right. Like it's always connected to the system, and they brought this thing out in 2015. So because of Switch being popular, why do they want to sue them now?
It actually goes back to 2013.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
2013. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I heard 2015 about it. I guess for that controller or anything, but I don't think they're gonna get anything out of it.
No,
because
I think this is more of an attention-seeking thing, and like Nintendo will either settle with them or B, like nothing's gonna come of it, and it's just gonna be.
I think Nintendo's gonna settle just because they don't want the damage to the Switch brand.
Right. But even if they do fight it, it's gonna be like. Remember that Wii lawsuit that just got settled last year about the motion controls and Nintendo ended up
that was
winning?
Like and 11 years ago. Yeah.
I'm like, who even cares about that at this point? Like, so
yeah, I don't think they're going to settle with them because the thing about it is that they're two different patents, and you actually need they need another party for their item to actually work because
this is all proprietary thing for Nintendo. Like the tablet's proprietary, the controllers are proprietary. Like for this, like, yeah, their technology is proprietary, but you need a third-party device to make it.
Right. And I think they're just suing them so they could get some money recognition, because how many people knew they were a company and even knew this product was at? They're not selling it at Best Buy or Target.
I knew that it was there because it was the WikiPad thing. That was the device. It was the WikiPad, which they first intentionally meant to launch in 2012, and then they eventually launched it in 2013. And I remember seeing it. Yeah, it was. It's just basically the interface can be kind of looked at similarly, but the only thing that's going to really, I mean, it could very well, it's really going to be up to it. If the courts allow it to continue, a judge is basically going to look at the patents and the designs and this, that, the other. They'll look at it and they'll be like, oh, well, this is similar or this isn't similar. If it's similar enough and Nintendo chooses not to settle, then Nintendo may be liable to give them royalties for every Switch that they sell.
I don't think so, because the thing about it is that
you have to look at litigation, though. It could go either way. Even though we think it's a shot in the dark, whatever, but we've seen weirder things like the whole thing with Apple and Samsung. Remember, it looked like Apple had no shot in hell to take down Samsung, but they did. Stranger things have happened.
Or they made a dent in Samsung again. Samsung came back.
Which is weird
for that technology. Yeah.
Amazon uses Samsung screens for their phone, which is really funny.
But that's what I mean. It's one of those things, like, we never know how it's going to go.
Right.
It's just going to be one of those things where, depending on how the judges look at it, and if they choose to let it continue, it may end up being something. And that's why Nintendo, for the headache and to avoid the negative press, they may be like, hey, we're going to settle this, make this go away quietly. Here's X amount of dollars.
But they
sign
normally
NDAs and it's done.
I mean, they normally don't. I think they only settled maybe once or twice. I know they lost two of them. I know they lost one for the 3DS one, and I think that Wii one, Corey, they lost.
Yeah.
Was it like Panasonic or something they settled with, or they lost to? It's like it's like only two of them that they really only lost.
Yeah. See, I don't remember it. I don't remember. But I don't know. It's weird. I don't know. I just think that this company is like, oh, hey, we make controllers for tablets too. We should try to get something out of this. So,
well, Nintendo lost a lawsuit back in 2008 for I believe it was the Wavebird.
Oh, because of the technology and the receiver.
$21 million they lost when they could have settled, and they said that they were going to settle. And they decided not to. Then there was also back in 91, they paid up $25 million for a settlement there. Nintendo lost the patent 3 years ago, it looks like, to Philips for patents for stuff for the Wii and Wii U.
Yeah.
So Nintendo's lost more than a handful of times. Just briefly looking through.
But to them, that's like only $2.
Yeah, but I mean, to be fair though, to not lose and have to pay that much money, they may be like, hey, how many WikiPads did you sell? Oh, you sold like 100,000 of them. X amount. This is what your cost is. Blah blah blah. We'll pay you X amount per unit that you sold. Blah blah blah. Or per, let's say, per anticipated Switch. They'll pay them a discounted, rate, and they'll be like, all right, that comes to like $5 million. Here's your $5 million. We sign NDAs. This all goes away. Done.
I don't think so. I think they're going to go to court, and I think Nintendo's probably going to end up winning, because they want Nintendo to stop selling the Switch. Well, you can't really stop selling it because, your patent for your accessories doesn't reflect the patent for the Switch itself, because it comes with a console. And the controllers, are part of it. Like, it comes as a whole. They don't have a console. Game Dive, whatever. They don't have a console that goes along with their accessories or their controllers. They need Right, they need Apple, Google, Android, or they need someone else's device in order to have their product even work.
Because it uses the power from the device to power those controllers. Because they're
right.
I from what I read up, at least some of them don't use battery or like traditional batteries or chargers. They need the power from the tablets to do that. What, Ray? What?
But looking at the litigation, I'm looking at the complaint right now. Essentially, what they're using as the defense for the flexible bridge section is the dock. Because essentially the controller is detachable and it's not exactly connected by the flexible bridge, but the flexible bridge is part of the patent. Essentially what the Game Vice thing that I'm looking at the exhibit right now, basically it's the two pieces it looks like a Joy-Con basically from the front. So they may have a leg to stand on with this to at least be like, hey, you got to pay us some money for this together, because if they do have legitimate patents and it's found that way, if it really goes that far up, I don't think it's going to stop the Switch, but they'll be like, hey, you have to pay X amount of dollars per Switch that you sell. So I think Nintendo may just want to settle this to make it go away quietly rather than take the risk.
I think they're going to go to court. But we'll see. We'll see how it all
we'll check back in 6 years when Nintendo puts out their next console and nobody cares about the Switch anymore.
Yeah.
Put a pin in this episode.
We won't even remember this happened anymore. It'll be like whatever.
Well, shoot, they probably don't even make that item no more.
No, they still make it. They still make it. It's just under a different branding now.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Yeah, it's differently. Corey said now it's the thing with the weird little hook thing on the back that latches in.
Okay.
Man.
So,
wow.
There is one, and you guys, it's more of a poll. 99 Games and County is on the Nintendo eShop. This is from Nintendo Life, and they kind of want to know how people feel about that, and give their thoughts. And I know me and you, Corey, we've been talking about, like, for the past few weeks that just unannounced games have been coming to the eShop.
I know, like Severed kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah, so I kind of want to ask how you guys feel about the eShop right now. Have you guys taken a look at it, and do you like some of the games that they offer?
Not really much on the Wii U, just because I'm not really inclined to buy stuff digitally on the Wii U.
Oh no, I'm talking about Switch.
I don't have a Switch, so I can't help you.
Oh, so you're gonna buy Wii U? Okay.
I'm going by Wii U. I don't like Switch. I'd probably, now that they've kind of got their act together with, assigning things to an account rather than to a device.
Yeah.
Though the one thing that kind of bothers me about Switch is not being able to move your data around.
Yeah,
because if your Switch dies, you're kind of screwed.
That's got to be coming soon, right? I mean, they can't do this again. I don't know. But for me, I've been. Whoa.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Breathe, Corey. Breathe.
Chief it. You
don't die.
Something good.
No, I drank some of this water and it started to come back up and went down the wrong pipe. I was like, But anyway.
Oh no.
For me, I love, for some reason, and Ray, you and I talked about this the other day, who were like, I need a bigger memory card for Switch, and I thought the 128 would be big enough until
I told Corey before he bought it.
I know he told me. He told me in December when they were when they confirmed the internal storage was only 32 gigs. He's like, you better get bigger than because I was thinking about getting just a 64 gig because
I was like, you want to get.
I'm gonna buy physical. I don't have time for Nintendo games not to be physical. And since then, my 128 is a third of the way full already, and I barely have any games on there. And the big games I have physically, all the Nintendo games I have physically, and I I wish I would have bought a bigger memory card. And when I'm trying to hold out for the 1 terabyte memory cards, and I don't know how much they're gonna cost or whatever, but anything that's not Nintendo first party,
still less than the Vita memory cards.
Yeah. No. Okay. So the 256 gig micro SD card is the same price as a 64 gig Vita memory card on Amazon. That's so stupid. Why?
Proprietary memory, that's part of what killed the Vita.
Sony, you're the reason why I'm not replacing my Vita, is because your darn memory card prices won't come down. But anyways, like, anything that's not Nintendo first party, I'm buying digitally. And, like, that's how it's been on my other consoles recently. It's like, I'm really switching over to, like, the digital space because it's just for convenience pretty much. And, like, if I like a game, I'll buy the physical copy. Like Horizon, I'll keep the physical copy because I think that game's really great. God of War, I'll probably keep the physical copy because I think that game's going to be really good. But, like, Nintendo first party stuff, like, I'm just going to have the first party, or have to have the physical copy, because there's something about Nintendo first party games that you just like seeing lined up on your shelf. And I know it's from, like, childhood when we all had games just laying on the floor or sitting on a shelf or whatever. But, like, I don't know. But, like, in terms of, like, the eShop, there are so many games on there on the eShop that I have downloaded just because of the portable factor of the Switch. Wonder Boy I downloaded, Snake Pass I downloaded, Mighty Gunvolt Burst I downloaded, and it's because, like, I can play it portably, and they're games I probably wouldn't have really downloaded on PS4 or Xbox One. But the fact that, like, these games are kind of curated, and kind of Nintendo's been doing a really good job, even on the Switch in their news feed, like, celebrating new releases in the eShop. Like, Switch, when you turn it on, has this new news feed on your home screen before you go into your app screen, and, like, it'll say, hey, this game's out now, you can watch the trailer right here, type thing. And, like, you press play on the trailer and you can watch it right there before you even turn on your Switch. And, like, every time a new eShop game comes out, like a big eShop game, it's celebrated, and they do a good job of curating. Now, there's a couple games on there that are questionable, like Vroom Broom, which whatever, like, there is another one recently that came out that I was like, what is this? Why does this exist? But, like,
remember the days of shovelware?
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
But I think Nintendo's doing a better job. Not a great job, but a better job than the other two consoles of, like, hey, we've got a big indie game coming out this week to fill the gap between our major first-party releases. Here's a trailer. Here's how much it costs. Like, you can add it to your wish list, or you can go straight to the eShop and buy it. So, but yeah, I think the eShop has some great content. Like, and it's made me buy games that I didn't think I was gonna buy on other consoles. So,
yeah. I know definitely when I get my Switch, I am still doing physical. Like, I'm definitely going to get all the physical games that's out. Like, I gotta have the Scale 5. I'm going to have Ultra Street Fighter, Super Bomberman, like all that stuff. I'm definitely going to have, because definitely with Nintendo games, I definitely go out and support them when they come out. Like with their cartridge. Like with PlayStation and Xbox, I might catch it on a sale, or I might get it used. And then if there's a good flash sale that's going on, I'll get that digitally. But like, I'm like, when it comes to Nintendo consoles, it's like a $60 purchase that I'm ready to put down, because I believe in that company putting out a really good product. And for people who say that Nintendo don't got games and stuff, I'm like, well, you got 90 games on eShop digitally. If you're a person who plays PC games through Steam, it's almost the same way, but just better in a sense.
Yeah, dude, Steam curation is like, I'm not even on. I'm not even.
Oh no! Right here, Ray, give me that shady look.
I know.
You cannot compare the Nintendo eShop to Steam. I'm sorry, you can't.
I'm not comparing it. I was just commenting on how great the curation on Steam is.
Yeah, no, Steam is great, but it's like, oh, it's kind of like that, but better. No, it's not.
It's 1,000 times better than Steam. Oh man. Although, need a better like search function. The store needs an update, and like, yeah, it's coming, but the Switch store needs an update, dude. It's just these tiles with an image of the game and a price, and they're in no specific order. They're in no like whatever. It's just like current releases, popular releases, search. That's it. It's like,
yeah. No, I tried using the Xbox store not too long ago, and I was just like, what the heck is this?
Yeah,
that needs an update. I mean, the PlayStation store is bad. Don't get me wrong, but the Microsoft store is slightly worse.
Yeah. You know, with the PlayStation store, at least at the side, I know I could go to deals and see what they got for that week. Yeah. Like,
whereas with Xbox, it's whatever their featured deals are, and you got to dig, search. Oh, good luck trying to get to your library. Sometimes you're like, okay, what games do I have? How do I see all the games I have? You have to go.
You're talking about Xbox, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's like
you have to go to the menu in the library, in the menu, not on the store. Where that's weird.
Xbox is so frustrating. Like I wish it was more like PlayStation, because there's an actual library button and you can put your stuff into folders, and it's nice. But like, I don't know. I have all the games I play on Xbox pinned to my dashboard, so it's not like a huge deal. But hopefully this new update to the Xbox dashboard is going to be like.
Yeah, from what Aaron Paul said for the preview that the insiders or whatever get, it was actually pretty good. So
yeah,
let's hope that it fixes some things. But yeah, no. So I have my complaints with every one of them. I don't think anyone's like better above the other ones. But poor Nintendo. Nintendo needs to do something, because goodness, like the eShop is just not friendly. It's not user friendly at all. Even going back to like the Wii eShop when they first like announced it and everything.
Yeah.
Just like, what is this jumbled mess of craziness? It's just like, wow. And it just like progressively somehow got worse instead of getting better.
I mean, well, I think sometimes a lot of people think that Nintendo is not kind of a technical company. Kind of like Sony and Microsoft. Microsoft is definitely for PC, so they kind of know that that technical space. Whereas Sony, they learn, and over time they evolve. Nintendo is just like, we're focused on getting our hardware out really and just putting out games out. So all the online and digital space, like, we're still learning and stuff. Because like I always go back and say, Japan still doesn't know how we do stuff in the West. And some of my friends, it's just like what they do in Japan, they need to like kind of learn over in the West on how to do it, to integrate it. And me and Corey actually talked about this. I'm just like, Nintendo and Microsoft got somewhat of a good relationship, and I think when they online feature actually start and they keep evolving, I think they need to probably study not Xbox Live, but kind of like talk to Microsoft and just be like, see what pointers and stuff that they can learn from to make their stuff better.
I still think with that, talking about Microsoft and Nintendo, I still think Microsoft and Nintendo are going to work out some sort of deal to put the Rare games on the N64 Classic next year. Feeling it. I'm feeling it.
I could see that.
Like,
I could see that.
Like, and maybe not GoldenEye, because the 007 license is a nightmare. But like, Perfect Dark, Banjo, Blast Corps, maybe not Blast Corps. Blast Corps wasn't great. And Conquer. Yes.
I think Miitopia kind of gave a little hint shout out to Rare in one of their little games.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, and Killer Instinct was on the N64 was great. Stuff like that. So I mean, we may see something to where they may be able to work something out, and then maybe for the SNES Classics, maybe we'll be able to be like, hey, because technically Nintendo owns the rights to Donkey Kong and Donkey Kong Country, but not to the whole game coding and everything like that, because Rare did those. So maybe we may see a comeback of those games too. Like, I was playing those the other day. Like, man, these games were fun. Like, they were legitimately fun.
Yeah.
And I think they could work out a good deal. I think it would be big more on Nintendo part than Microsoft.
Nintendo's just gonna throw money at Microsoft. They'll say okay, and then that's probably gonna be the way that it goes. It's just gonna be Nintendo throwing money at them.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, how much is it gonna cost for us to do this? all right, X amount of dollars. All right, here you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that would definitely be a good business for Rare, because it's just like that passion, that fire that they had on the Nintendo systems. I think they could re-get that passion for the Xbox in a way.
They just have to have creative control, though. That's the thing. Rare back in those days for the Super Nintendo and the N64, they had creative control. Microsoft has delegated Rare to making the party games and Kinect stuff. And now Killer Instinct, which they're happy about, but Killer Instinct probably isn't where they want it to be because of the financial plan that Microsoft put forth for it.
Rare didn't do Killer Instinct, so...
Yeah, but I mean, you know what I mean? They had people from the original Rare team that worked on Killer Instinct help out with the development of Killer Instinct.
Okay. And now that Iron Galaxy even hired a couple members from that team, the N64 team, to work on it, because like then the team who did the reboot of Killer Instinct, now it was bought by Amazon, Double Helix or whatever, and now Iron Galaxy took over, and now they have some of that Rare fighting team on there. Because Rare had like 3 teams. They had like their first-person shooter team, and then they had the platforming team, and they had the, I guess, other team, which was like
the other team that worked between. Yeah.
So, Rare's a fascinating, like that Super Nintendo N64 Rare was just super fascinating. Man. Well. Oh, by the way, by the time you watch this episode or listen to it, I just remembered Sonic Mania Collector's Edition will be in my hands.
Yes.
And Corey is super excited for Sonic. I just never was. I enjoyed playing the Sonic games,
here's the thing. I don't know if I'm excited for Sonic Mania or not.
You don't know if you're going to be excited or disappointed yet. You're like, time will tell.
I'm not. I haven't been excited for a Sonic game since Sonic 3, and guess what? Sonic 3 was pretty disappointing. So,
well, it's actually fun. It's actually funny because they was just like some people got early copies in their hand, and I haven't seen nobody stream it or even put it on YouTube yet. I'm like,
that doesn't tell anything. Well, I got it for Switch though. I figure it'd be a good like Switch game, and I don't know. I get a cool little Sonic statue, I guess, and that's cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was thinking about canceling that the other day when I went up there.
Did you?
I don't know. I need to start being smarter with games I'm purchasing, because like now that the Switch hype is over and I want everything, now I just need to be like, I need to start compartmentalizing.
Well, shoot, I'm still trying to find stuff for PlayStation 4 to get this holiday, because I don't got crap. I think Knack 2 and goodness, I think once I buy the Frozen for
Horizon, the Frozen Wilds.
For Horizon. Yeah. Other than that, I really
like Sony has that system now though, where like they focus on the third-party games in the fall and they release their first-party games in the spring. Like that's their system now, and like but they don't want to take away from their own games, so they are just like, hey, we have the marketing behind Star Wars and Destiny and what else, Call of Duty, like why do we need to put out our own games in that hot garbage mess like because that? I mean, they have 3 games coming out this fall though.
Gran Turismo,
Uncharted, Gran Turismo, and Knack. There's your fall, and then in the spring will be something
but that's pitiful.
And Horizon,
Yakuza's coming out too.
6
Kiwami,
the remake of 1.
Oh, I still got to get 0, and I still got to beat 4. I got to beat the other ones on PlayStation 3.
Yeah, so next week will be the Lost Legacy. Then they got Yakuza coming in the week after that. Then Destiny coming the week after that. Then about a month after that, Shadow Mordor's coming. And which they're giving advertising for, even though I know Microsoft is getting a chunk of that too. But Frozen Wilds, then comes November, then Star Wars, and then their spring is going to be their heavy hitters. That's where they're going to see the heavy hitters start coming out in the spring, which will maybe God of War.
Days Gone.
Days Gone is a 20...
Days Gone. is that leading
it's slated as a possible 2018 release, but
dude, that game
on my luck, it's probably going to get pushed back to
2019. That game needs to come out sooner than later because of The Last of Us. Like, they don't want those two games. Like,
they don't want those two games in the same window, and Last of Us is probably going to be a 2019 game.
Depending on what, because they're showcasing something at Gamescom, right? No, PlayStation Sony's not going to be there for Gamescom, are they? For Gamescom?
No, they are gonna have a presence, but they're not doing like a big reveal or anything. They're saving everything for PSX. So
yep.
Okay.
But
press conferences. Let's see. My Xbox has one.
Should we just title this episode? Nintendo Power Block?
Nintendo Power Block Nostalgia Edition,
Volume 2.
Oh man, I like this episode though. This is just like a fun hangout episode.
It's always fun.
Yeah.
But well, since there's a couple more things that need to be recorded today, why don't we kind of just wrap it up and kind of call it a day? I have to attend to the wife in dinner.
Yay.
Yeah, we could definitely do that.
Are you joining us for Arsenal X, Ray?
When are you recording that?
I don't know yet.
Let me know. I'll see where I am with stuff, because I actually have to go and do some things, and then that's why I'm not actually. Yeah, I do.
No,
I'm not going to be joining you guys on World 1-1 because something came up. So I already let Larry know. So, but I need to get going. ElRayNY617, Twitch, Twitter, all the gaming platforms. If you want to join me, if you want to join me there, I'm going to go ahead and just do my spiel real quick, Corey. I kind of jumped in.
That's cool.
Go ahead.
No, that's cool.
All right, and just make sure you follow my show, Nerd Overdrive, Facebook.com/Phoenix Overdrive.
Lee, put up the audio version.
Yeah, also on Twitter. Yeah, we have to fix that. And Twitter and Instagram, PHX_Overdrive or Nerd_Overdrive. Join the community page, Facebook.com/groups/PO Nation. Where we discuss all the latest and greatest in gaming news and share all things nerd. You can check out previous shows of our show, Nerd Overdrive, on Facebook, or not Facebook, YouTube.com/Phoenix Overdrive. The audio, when it's working, SoundCloud.com/Phoenix Overdrive. Also, look for Nerd Overdrive on iTunes, Stitcher, and Google Play Music. You can check our show live. Hopefully, we're going to be back to recording after a little bit of a hiatus. Lee brought it up on Bobby's most recent Nintendo show. Facebook Live. Go to the Facebook page. We have it there. Also on Twitch, PHX_Overdrive, or YouTube by adding /live to the end of our URL for that. Thanks, Corey and Ed, for letting me be on, talk some Nintendo and some non-Nintendo stuff. Go back down memory lane with some nostalgia stuff. But I always have fun with you guys, so.
Ray, you're always allowed to come in and chat with us. It's a good time.
It's always a good time.
Ed, where can we find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter at ThatRetroCode. You can hear my podcast, Optional Opinion, on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play, the Anomalous Radio Network.podbean.com, and other podcast apps. You can read Optional Opinion on IGN.com under Anime, ENIME. Check out my retro review, Skirmish Frogs. I mean, the moment I see you running your head, Corey, and that threw me off. You can read the moment at skirmishfrogs.com. Also, check out my review of Bad Video Game review. I am waiting to get Hellblade, so I will be doing maybe my personal review for that when I can. Having a discussion with that later on in the year. Getting ready for the beauty of video games. My very own Corey Derrick will be on an episode, so and then more guests will be coming. All of that is dropping in September. And also check out Hey, Let's Buy to Play in Arsenal X here on NGR Radio. That's where you guys can find me. If you want to friend me on Xbox, the Lyrical One, which you also could check out my Twitch channel, the Lyrical One, where I do my Let's Learn series, where I teach about that. And if you on PlayStation, you can find me at Okamical, OKAMICAL. Yeah. And then when I get my Switch, I'll give my friend code out. Check out the Nintendo Power Block Facebook page. I'm going to end up putting my 3DS code on there if you guys want to get my friend code. So it'll be going up there a little bit shortly after.
Yeah.
Yes.
You can find me at Corey Hudson NHD on Twitter. You can find me at Corey NHD on Instagram and on Twitch. You can find me in the NGR Radio Facebook group, facebook.com/group/NGR Radio Network. You can also find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/Corey NHD. I'm going to start streaming, do some stuff there.
Yes, cool I stream all the time.
Yeah, we need to stream some Overwatch. There's some cool stuff I'm kind of working on in terms of like things,
writing,
visual things. So can't wait to share that with you guys. Ray, I love you. Ed, I love you sometimes.
Love you always.
I love you both, guys.
Thank you so. I'm just kidding. Thank you so much for watching, and until next week, we love you.
Bye, everybody.
Woohoo! Rise above, guys.
Who got $5 so I can rent a Blockbuster game?